My YouTuber friend Elicia has already done a video on these what I found in the Commie Constitution, but I wanted to do my own video for it, and I will link her video below in the description. But one of the things I found, as you know, I cover the commies. That's one of the things I cover. And I was skimming their constitution because I was thinking, oh, I haven't made a video about anything from their constitution lately. Let me look and see what cringy stuff I can find. Oh, cringy did I find. So, one of the things I found was this right here, where it says, education in the new socialist republic in North America shall be based in accordance with and contribute to the principles and objectives set forth in this Constitution. This is from the Commie Constitution. I'll link that too. All education shall be public education. So, no homeschooling, no private schooling, no Catholic schools, no Protestant schools, no Jewish schools. Do you get that? Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Provided for financially through the allocation of funds from central government. Public school is not currently provided for by central government. It's provided for locally. In all other levels of government. Okay. Under the overall direction of the Executive Council of the central government. So one of the things that's key here is you're seeing that the commies, I mean, we know that commies are generally a centralized government, heavy, big government. But for people who are still asleep, it's right here. That they're talking about everything being under an executive council and central government. And, you know, there's a real big government feel to this Constitution. And they keep going out and they tell everybody they're all about rights. But this just shows, because historically, big governments are not all about the rights of the people. Moving on. Education providing not only for literacy and other basic skills and abilities, but also for grounding in the natural and social sciences, as well as art and culture and other spheres, in the ability to work with ideas in general, shall be provided. You mean their ideas, anyway, at government expense. Well, yeah, if it's a public education, it's going to be at government expense. And shall be compulsory for all youth, both citizens and residents, within the new Socialist Republic in North America, in accordance with policy and guidelines that shall be adopted by the appropriate government bodies for this purpose. Compulsory, like I said, no homeschooling, no private schooling, absolutely no getting around this. Your kids have to go and be mind-fucked by the commies if they overthrow the government. Pardon my French, I don't swear that much, but it's just, to me, it's just the only word. The only way to describe it is mindfuck. That's what they want to do. Now, advanced education, combining with specializations with the continuance of overall well-rounded learning, shall also be provided at government expense. I'm hearing lots of taxes, too. Yeah, are you hearing taxes? I'm hearing taxes. When I hear provided at government expense, and isn't this what Bernie Sanders wanted? And Bernie Sanders was all tied to all these leftist people. For those who meet the criteria and standards for more education set forth in policy. Well, at least they got that right. That's one thing I like about in France. If you can't, like, pass a certain test, you can't go to college. You have to get a certain score on a test called Le Baccalauréat, Le Bac. And if you don't get it, I don't know if you can go to college in France or maybe you have to pay for it, but you have to get a certain score on this test to have it paid for by the college for sure. And I'm pretty sure they can at least come to another country and pay for it. But anyway, now, what's even more disturbing than what I just told you is the second screenshot when I kept reading. So they talk about like all this good sounding stuff, promoting interchanges between students and the broader ranks of people, keeping with principles and policies. Now, at the same time, education at all levels shall combine intellectual pursuits with various kinds of physical labor. Yeah, that's what it says. It says physical labor. I'm not sure if that's like college kids too, but basically, now I had seen a documentary on like Maoism or communism in China, and it talked about how like kids had to like sit in little groups at a table and like make like little craft thingies or something to like that were essentially sold because kids had to have legitimate skills and they had to do a little bit of physical labor. So when they sell communism to people, it's just like, oh, everything is unfair, people shouldn't be oppressed. How oppressed would children be if they're forced to do physical labor in school? How oppressed is that? That is freaking oppression. That's oppression right there. No ways around it. You cannot send your kid to a private school. You cannot homeschool your kid. Your kid must be mind-fucked by the communist government if they succeed in overthrowing our government, and your kids must do physical labor. Yeah. Anyway, physical labor in ways and forms that correspond to and are appropriate for students of different ages and different levels of development. In order to foster the development of new generations of people who, with well-rounded experience, knowledge, and abilities as part of working to transform the relation between intellectual and physical work. There we go again. Physical work! So this no longer constitutes the basis for social antagonism. So everyone gets oppressed. I mean, and here comes the globalism overcoming in society and ultimately the world. There is, in another part of their constitution, I'm going to do a video on this at some point, they do state that they intend for their Socialist Republic of North America to eventually take over the world and overthrow other governments and create communism. Yeah. I'm going to link you this stuff in the description. Elicia's video and this Commie Constitution. Oh, I also found another guy who is covering the Commie Constitution. His name is Repentant Conservative. I reached out to him. I don't think he replied, but sometimes people reply and I don't see it because I try to check my notifications, but it's hard to keep up on them, and I don't think the guy had a Twitter. That's one of the reasons why for stuff like this I try to reach out to people on Twitter and stuff. So, alright, that's it for today. Thank you guys for stopping by my channel. I will see you all next time.